You probably clicked on this video because of the title, but I can assure you that nothing in this video will tell you to just be yourself because we all know that that doesn't work, and if it did, nobody would be watching. So this video is essentially just a compiled list of all the things that helped me at least begin to overcome my social anxiety, because I do confess it still is partially an issue for me, but I do notice a lot of improvement with some of these things that I've tried and like put into my daily life. So we're just getting right into the video here. My very first tip is to stop telling yourself that you are socially anxious or shy or introverted or quiet or whatever that you don't want to be that's related to this issue. I say this because your thoughts literally do become your reality. So if you continue to tell yourself these things that you don't want to be, you're going to continue to be like this identity that you don't want to be in instead of growing and achieving something that you actually want to be. For example, if you continue to tell yourself that you're always like socially anxious or shy, you're just going to be socially anxious or shy. But on the other side of this, you can try to tell yourself more positive things or things that can be just more helpful in general and just make you feel better about yourself. They may sound a little bit stupid, but some of these I did actually try, but then I added a couple more in just to, I don't know, give you guys some more ideas. But it can be anything you want, like anything that you're insecure about. You can just tell yourself the opposite of that. You can say things like, for example, wow, I'm so good at having conversations, or oh my gosh, I'm making this person feel so comfortable talking to me right now. But like I said, it can be anything, and it just literally make it anything else than what you already tell yourself, because that is not helpful. My second tip is basically exposure therapy, exposing yourself to smaller anxious situations. Unfortunately, social anxiety is one of those things that you need to sort of expose yourself to, like in those anxious situations, in order to desensitize yourself to that stimulus in a way. It sounds kind of freaky, but it's really not that big of a deal. Like, you don't have to start out giving a whole big giant speech in front of an audience in an auditorium. That's not what I'm talking about. You start really, really super small. For example, if you don't usually do this, you could like ask a cashier or your barista like how their day is going. I mean, if it's not super busy, of course, because that's not fun. But like if they're not doing anything and you're not doing anything, you might as well start a little conversation or like talk about the environment or like the weather. I don't know, anything. You could, if you go to the bookstore, I do this sometimes, you could like talk to someone at the bookstore if they're like looking in the same section as you, or if you don't know anything about this genre or something like that. And even just smiling at people as you're walking by, like on the sidewalk or in a store, that's better too, because you probably don't think about it, but you also probably don't usually do that. But it could be anything, like super easy, like anything that you think might be a little bit too much for you, but it's like a normal thing that people do. I would go ahead and do it. Like if it feels like too much, it's probably fine, unless it's like way, way too much, but you would know. The third tip might be a little bit strange, but it's to put your phone away. You just need to hear me out on this. I noticed for a while, like this is a while ago, like maybe a year or a little less, that whenever I was in like a social environment or a place with a lot of people and I didn't know anyone, or like no one I knew was around me and I was just kind of standing there, I would always just pull my phone out and just, scroll through random apps. You know what you do. Like standing in line or something, you just pull your phone out, look at random stuff that doesn't even matter. And by doing that, you just don't talk to anyone. You kind of are absorbed in your own world. I sort of think of it like when you're doing that and you're distracting yourself from the real world, you're kind of making yourself more sensitive to the outside world in that way. Because when you're so absorbed in something that's like, probably calming or something to you, and then you look up and there's like a million people or it's an unknown environment, you don't know what to do. So if you're, I don't know, if you're in a doctor's office and you're just sitting there on your phone and there's other people around, you're probably not going to talk to anyone, but you at least just don't want to be on your phone. So you can like see people walking around or see people talking and just observing people. I think that helped me a lot, just like getting used to not being on my phone all the time in public. And it might feel really, really weird at first because it's just kind of something that everyone does without thinking. But once you start doing it more often, then it'll become a lot easier to do. Like you can start, again, starting small. That's the whole entire thing of this video. And then you're also going to realize that literally everyone else is on their phones too, so they won't even realize that you're doing that. They don't realize that you're not on your phone. And even if they did, why would they care? That's weird if they do. My next tip, number 4, is basically telling you that it's not all about you. This shift in my perspective really helped get me over some of the overthinking cycles that I used to have or that I still might do sometimes. When you're socially anxious, you're constantly sort of almost bracing yourself for what someone might say or do or think about you based on what you do. When in reality, literally nothing people do is about you. Like almost nothing is actually about you. Most people are more concerned about themselves than they are judging you. And a lot of the people out there are also socially anxious, so this applies double for them. Like they're more absorbed in themselves and their world and what they're doing than what you're doing. And plus, if they do judge you, they're probably judging everyone else anyway, and it doesn't matter, like you're not special. But in order to realize something like this or kind of implement it into your daily life, you need to be a little bit more secure in yourself. I'd say social anxiety is a really like self-involved problem because you're so worried about what other people are doing or thinking or something that may harm you. But ways you can become more secure in yourself is working on your physical appearance and just liking what you see more, like getting ready more, or maybe it's doing more physical activity like working out or running or just walking or something. I would also say into the getting more secure with yourself section is becoming more comfortable with your personality and your identity, because when you're no longer like concerned about if your personality is likable or if you're interesting enough, that comfort will naturally flow into any conversation you're having. Tip number 5, and the final tip of this video, kind of goes hand in hand with number 4, which is take care of yourself. I sort of see it as if you don't try to make yourself feel good, then you're not going to feel good. And that will definitely show outside, like if you're talking to someone, if you're not comfortable with, you know, how your hair looks or like your shirt or jewelry or whatever. If you don't like it, people are probably going to notice if it's like a big deal to you. So if you really try hard and do things that you like and like what you see or how you feel, then other people will probably feel more comfortable talking to you. Then you'll probably feel more comfortable talking to other people. But basically, you're going to feel better before, you know, a social event or something if you take pride in your appearance. Another weird one that I know not everyone believes is that music really does affect you. I used to listen to sad music all day long as soon as I woke up in the morning. So find music, like if you like to get ready to music or something, find music that makes you feel confident, like happy music or like pop or something upbeat, or at least with good lyrics. I don't care, but just not sad, depressing, like music like that, you know? There's a time for that, but it's not for getting ready to go have a good time with people. But really, anything that makes you more confidence will make a really big difference. So these are just some of the simple tips that helped me, like in every day that you don't really have to think about too much, not like super like cognitive behavioral therapy type level stuff. Just simple things you can implement without, you know, a lot of skill or anything like that. And it's normal for like your anxiety to not go away immediately at first. Like it's not supposed to. But over time, if you like implement certain tips, like maybe these ones or other ones, then over time you might not feel it as much, or maybe you do feel it, but you're able to push past it more. But I hope that helped at least some people, and if you tried them, let me know. I want to know if they worked for you as well. But make sure to subscribe for my next video.